I need you to listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just another scary story you click on to kill time at night. This one really happened. And if you're not careful, it could happen to you too. It was the mid-1990s, back when kids actually played outside until the streetlights came on. I was 12 years old, and it was one of those crisp October evenings where the air had just enough bite to remind you that Halloween was coming. The kind of night where the shadows stretched longer than they should have, and every sound seemed sharper, clearer. My dad and I were out in the driveway playing basketball. Our house sat at the bottom of a hill, right on a slight curve of the road. The sun had dipped low, but it wasn't quite dark yet. The world was caught in that eerie in-between time where everything feels unsettled. That's when we heard it. At first it was faint, just a low rhythmic pounding echoing down the hill. My dad froze mid-dribble. I remember how strange it sounded, like enormous flat feet slapping against pavement. Heavy, too heavy to be human. The noise grew louder, faster. It wasn't a car, wasn't a bike, wasn't anything we'd ever heard before. We couldn't see it yet. The curve of the road kept it hidden, but whatever was making that sound was big, and it was coming straight towards us. Then it appeared, bursting into view, running down the hill with terrifying speed, was a creature that didn't belong in our world. From the waist up, it looked like something out of a nightmare. Its chest and arms were broad and powerful, covered in long, matted brown hair. Its head was massive, its eyes too big, glinting as the last bit of light caught them. But from the waist down, it was wrong. Its legs were bird-like, but more muscular, ending in enormous, flat, webbed feet that slapped against the pavement with each thunderous stride. Not so hairy like the rest of its body, just skin stretched over muscle, built for running. The thing had to be 8 or 9 feet tall. Each step covered ground like it was nothing. My dad and I had already dropped the basketball, standing frozen at the edge of the driveway, staring. The creature ran straight down the hill, its eyes fixed ahead like we didn't exist. But then, it happened. Just as it reached the bottom of the hill, right where our driveway met the street, its head snapped towards us. I swear to you, it knew we were there the entire time. Its massive eyes locked onto ours, and in that moment my blood turned to ice. I thought for sure it was going to veer off course and come charging straight at us. I felt my dad's hand clamp down on my shoulder. Without a word, he started guiding me slowly, carefully toward the open garage door. Every muscle in my body screamed to run, but we moved slow. Quiet, like prey trying not to attract the predator's attention. The creature's gaze lingered just long enough to paralyze us. And then, just as quickly, it turned its head back forward and kept running, straight ahead, down the street. Its footsteps pounded against the pavement, echoing through the neighborhood. The sound didn't fade right away. It lingered, bouncing off the houses as it rounded the curve and disappeared from sight. Even after we couldn't see it anymore, we could still hear it, fainter and fainter until finally, silence. My dad finally spoke, his voice low and urgent. "Get in the house." We bolted into the garage, slammed the door shut, and locked it. My dad didn't waste a second. He grabbed his firearm from the cabinet. We stood by the window, peeking through the blinds like two terrified kids waiting for the monster to come back. I asked him what it was. He just shook his head, his face pale in the dim light. I don't know. That was the first time in my life I'd ever seen my father scared. Truly scared. He made me promise not to go back outside that night. As darkness swallowed the street, the memory of those heavy footsteps seemed to hang in the air, like they could start up again at any second. The days that followed were strange. I told some friends in the neighborhood, hoping someone else had heard or seen something. Nobody had. Not a single person. When I told my best friend, he laughed it off. Said maybe I was making it up, or maybe my dad and I just misheard something. But there's no mistaking what we saw. No mistaking what we heard. That's why my dad and I mostly kept it to ourselves. It's one thing to say you saw a ghost or a shadowy figure in the woods, but to say you saw a half Bigfoot, half bird-legged creature sprinting through your neighborhood, people wouldn't believe us. But I'll tell you this, my dad and I know what we witnessed. We both saw the exact same thing. I thank God that I wasn't out there alone that night like so many nights before. We lived in that house for a few more years. Every time dusk fell, I couldn't shake the fear that it might come back. When I took the trash out at night, when I walked home from a friend's house, even when I was just shooting hoops in the driveway again, my eyes would drift up that hill, waiting, listening. It never did come back, not for us, but that doesn't mean it was gone. Years later, when I finally had access to the internet, I searched everywhere for answers. Kansas cryptid sightings, 1990s, anything that matched what we saw. But there was nothing. No reports, no news articles, no stories that sounded even close. It was like whatever we saw was meant only for us, and I still ask myself why. Was it a creature science hasn't discovered yet? Some kind of paranormal entity? Something that slipped into our world from somewhere else? Another dimension? Another reality? I don't have the answer. Neither does my dad. We still talk about it to this day, knowing that on that one particular night, something happened right in front of our eyes that shouldn't have. We saw something that we weren't supposed to see. All I know is that it happened, and I'll never forget the sound of those footsteps pounding down the hill, faster and faster, like one night they could start again. And if they do, maybe this time it won't keep running straight. Maybe this time it won't pass us by.